Let's talk about how you can cite books using the MLA Guidelines 8th edition. And I have not alphabetized these entries properly, as you would in your Works Cited. Instead, I have arranged them from sort of the easiest to the most difficult. So we're going to start with a basic entry, and there are just a few things that you need to cite a book. You need to give the author's name. Notice that the author's name is inverted, and the two parts are separated by a comma. Then we add a period and a space, and then the title, and the title is in italics. By contrast, an article would be in quotation marks. Notice also that key parts, key words in our title are capitalized, but smaller words, such as prepositions, are not. The third part of our book entry is the container, and the container can include lots of information, but there are just two parts that are really essential. You need to give the publisher, and then after a comma and a space, you need to give the date. And as long as you do that, you're doing sort of what's essential for a book entry. And then we add we finish our whole entry with a period. So that's our basic entry, and then we can add these kinds of variations on the theme. So the second entry then is going to add an extra author. Here we have two authors, and notice that the name is not inverted. The third entry is going to be for 3 or more authors. And what we've done here is we've given just one name, presumably the most important, or the first in the alphabet. And then this Latin abbreviation et al. Stands for and others. As an aside, you might also notice this abbreviation UP, and that stands for University Press. So that's very common with publishers, that you can abbreviate University Press to UP. The fourth one has an editor instead of an author. So here we just add this little tag editor to indicate what this person's role is. And then the fourth one has an author and an editor. So this one has the author's name first, and then the editor's name is in the section for contributors, as it's called. So contributors go after the title. Okay, and there's a small mistake here. This should have a comma here. Okay, so everything in the container is separated by commas. So we insert the contributor's name here. There could be other contributors too. You could have a translator, for instance, but in this case we'll keep it simple. We just have a regular editor. And then the last one has a whole bunch of information. So you can see now that we have our author, we have our title, and then we have an editor, as we just had, but we also have a version. And there are different ways to indicate the kind of version you're dealing with. This is an abridged version, but you could write something like second edition. Okay, and in this case you can abbreviate to ed period. And then the rest of this information is still the same. So that's it for citing books using the MLA Guidelines 8th edition. We haven't, of course, covered every last variant, but I do think this covers the most likely cases, the ones you're going to see most often, and so hopefully you'll find this useful.